Good morning, Abby. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of really short videos for you where I've actually written the work on the board. It was crazy. I was trying to go through this last night live for you, and I could not do long division to save my life, I don't think, which I guess is probably why I teach algebra and not math. But as far as I know, this sheet that you gave me right here from your homework sheet from sections 4.2, 3, and 4, that was the only one that I still needed to work on questions with you with. And I want to let you know that I really, really appreciate how hard you're working in class. You do all of the problems, you pay attention, you let me know what you're having difficulty with, and you, in truth, are doing, I think, a far better job than you have any idea. Typically what trips you up seems to be the things that are just more the little side issues, because your overall comprehension and understanding the material is really, really, really good. I did notice I was looking over your test, and the trap that I think you're seeming to fall into most right now, other than just the side issues that really are meaningless, is you're still having some difficulty losing negative signs, which is very, very common. Like I've said, I'll drop negative signs frequently myself if I'm not careful. But I think maybe if you will remember, I don't have any up here on the board now, but don't forget that the sign that is directly in front of the number or of the algebraic term, you know, like a 3x, if you end up with minus 3x, actually let me show you that one right now, because this came back. I don't remember what the exact problem was, but you showed your work. You had, and because you had to distribute something at the beginning, and you ended up with xy minus 3y minus xy. I think what they had maybe was y times x minus 3. Yeah, minus xy. And where the kids were messing up on this was they would put down yx minus 3y minus xy and not recognize that yx and xy are the same. You got that. You just automatically put that in alphabetical order so that you saw you had those like terms there. But then instead, so you had this right here, you put down your answer as 3y instead of carrying that sign in front of it. And that, I think, is the biggest thing that I would point out to you now that I've noticed when I take a look at your work, is don't forget that whatever the sign is in front of your expression, that goes along with it. And there was at least one other problem on your test. Like I said, I just looked over it, but there was at least one other one where you had the right answer, but you had not carried that negative sign. Because I could tell looking at your work, because you'd done it exactly correctly, but when you transfer it, or even when you just write the answer on your paper, you forget about that negative sign. Okay, this first problem here was, this is really weird. I'm used to being able to see the screen as I video, and I can't see it now. But this was this word problem from section 4.4, and I went ahead and wrote it out because it's quicker for me to do the videoing that way. It says a calculator costs $12 less than a camera. Both together cost $87. What is the cost of each? And I bet you know exactly how to do this one. But the key here, like it is for all word problems, is what are we going to choose as our variable? So they said the cost of a calculator was less than the cost of a camera. So since they're describing the cost of the calculator in terms of the cost of a camera, we're going to have our variable x be the cost of the camera. Then x minus 12 has to be the cost of the calculator, because this is $12 less than the cost of the camera, regardless of what the cost of that camera is. Then it says the total that this person paid for camera and calculator was $87. So we have x, which is the cost of the camera, plus the cost of the calculator. Obviously, you cannot combine within the parentheses. We just have a plus the quantity 8 minus 12, so there's no, no negative signs to worry about. When we remove the parentheses, we're down to 2x minus 12 is 87. You solve this the way that I know that you know how to, and you end up with x is equal to 99 over 2. I wondered if maybe this was the point where you got tripped up, or maybe not. But if you had just stopped at this point, you know that this is 99 over 2 is an acceptable answer in algebra because it's a rational expression and it's reduced to lowest terms. But here, of course, is an example of something that's meaningless in the well, not meaningless, but it's certainly not the way that we would talk about things in the real world. If I want to know how much something costs, I'm not going to tell you it's 99 halves of a dollar. So you have to convert the 99 divided by 2 into $49.50, $49.50. So what's half of $99? You divide it in 2, it's $49.50. You subtract $12 from that, and you have $37.50 is the cost of the calculator. The $49.50 is the cost of the camera. Don't you love that scroll? And the way that you add these is, the way that you check these is you add them together and see that, yes, indeed, that when you put $49.50, $37.50 for the cost of those two items, the guy did spend $87. So that's what you did for that first word problem. And then the second word problem, it's not a word problem, the second problem that showed up on your list of requests was this one where it said convert 371 over 99 into a decimal. And I believe that's exactly how it said. It said convert to decimal form. And again, I'm thinking maybe that this wasn't the number that you meant to put down, or maybe you just were getting tripped up with your long division just like I was. You simply divide 371 by 99, and I just put out a string of zeros because I already know that I'm going to have to convert that. I'm going to have to be doing the extra long division. Once you go through and do all your steps, you see that you've got this repetition going on here, and the division is never going to end, which I know that you know. So we have 3.747474. It's going to continue forever. And the way that you write that in decimal form, of course, is to put your repeater bar only over those two digits that are repeating. So and this is red, 3.74 repeating. So all you have to do when you're doing your long division is divide sufficiently to show that you're going to have a pattern of repetition established. You didn't even have to go to that second 4 there. As soon as you show 3.747 and you've got and it doesn't end evenly, you know that you've established what your repetition is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this video off now and put your other problems on the board, because I think that'll be quicker.